Paul goes on and points to our adoption. Look in verses 5 and 6. In love, he predestined. There's that word that so many people hate. But I hope today it'll change your mind. In love, don't miss that. In love, he predestined us to adoption as sons through Jesus Christ to himself, according to his kind intention, or the kind intention of his will, to the praise, the glory of his grace, which he, God, freely bestowed on us in the beloved. Now, at any moment in there, do you see anything that says you did something? Oh, I think he's pretty clear on who's doing what. It's him. All of it. Every single piece of it is him. But instead of getting lost in that, and instead of wanting to argue like what Packer was talking about, like people have done for centuries, let me explain something to you. According to the Apostle Paul, it was love at first thought. Did you hear what I said? Love at first thought. Understand something. I was never a believer of love at first sight. That just seems silly to me. You mean I can walk up to someone and see somebody and just reason goes out the window? I was never a believer of love at first sight until I went to Silky O'Sullivan's on Beale Street in Memphis. It's a bar. I wasn't always a Christian. I'm sitting at a bar listening to two piano players, two grand pianos sitting in a bar. It's if you've never been to a piano bar, anyway. I was going to say go, but I shouldn't from a pulpit tell you to go to a bar. But it's cool. The way the two gifted pianists play, and I'm just enjoying it. And I'm there in Memphis with my mother, and my sister was there working at St. Jude's, and she had a roommate. I didn't even know her name. And she was going to come after work to the bar. I didn't care. But then all of a sudden, this girl walks into the bar. And her name was Ashley. And I was dumbfounded. It's like, man, she's hot. And then the more I talked to her, and y'all can ask her, we stayed up till almost 4 a.m. talking. I got in the car the next morning with my mama, and you can ask my mother. I told her by the time we got out of Memphis, I said, I'm going to marry that woman. It's love at first sight. And every one of you little women right now are going, oh. You know what is funny to me? Is we say all to that. But the fact that we read God's own word, that he loved us at the first thought of us. And we want to argue that. We want to debate this. Why don't we just say, oh. Why don't we just say, that's unbelievable? Why don't we say, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life? Why do we want to argue this? I get it's a mystery, and I'm going to talk about the mystery. But do not forget the awe of it. Understand, even the Bible tells us, 1 John 4:19, we love, why? Why do we love? Because he first loved us. He loved us at the very first thought. God exists outside of time. As he's getting prepared to think of time and to prepare it all together, he saw and thought of you and said, I love you, I want you. Before you even breathe. And if you think, no, that can't be true, the heck you say. I loved Sam when he was still in his womb. I loved Maggie, and thank God, while she was still in the womb. And God loved you Before you ever breathed, before you ever thought, before you ever did a thing, God loved you. Why do we argue this? It's right there. It drives me insane now. I have studied this, and God bless everybody at the gym that had to put up with me this week. Because that's where I go to try to get my thoughts wrapped around my head, all this stuff. Notice here, he uses the word adoption. Adoption. That's one of the blessings, is adoption. Not only did he choose us, he adopts us. You know what adoption means? It means you were lost. You were hopeless. You didn't have a home. As Jesus Christ would say later on in the Gospels, you were sheep without a shepherd, and he felt compassion on you. So much that he gave up his throne to come here to live, suffer, and die to give you back, to bring you into his family. You went from having nothing to having everything because he put his name on you, because he saved you. It's what Paul would say in Romans 8:15, for you did not receive the spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you received the spirit of adoption as sons by whom we cry, Abba, Father. We're going to understand more of this slavery when we get into chapter 2. But just understand, he rescued us. It's a rescue mission that he did. What a blessing. That's the blessings of the Father.